Woo! We got more Rogue for you guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I know you guys are following on in here to see more of these Extravaganza lists. I also have a Salamangreat Eldritch list, and I have a Madolche list that got 25th place. I also have Akano's top 32 Eldritch list for you guys. Eldritch Numeron Dragoon. Yeah. List for you guys as well. So make sure you guys don't miss out on that. So the first list we're going to be looking at today is 4th place, EMMANUEL Lily's list out of the Extravaganza. And this is pure Numeron. All right, I don't think you guys understand how excited I am to see this deck. This is basic as trash. You want complex strategy, you slam that going second button. A lot of clapping here, I'm apologizing for that now. You slam that going second button and go tee-hee as you call out your entire squadron of minions to OTK your opponent. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, our opponent made us go first. We're gonna Zexel you because you're not playing Imperm. Oh, man. Imagine getting actually cheesed by this. Oh, also. Yeah, I needed that. You control your opponent here by giving them a Gamma Seal and then OTKing them. It's so easy. I also do like the ratios here on the double Memories of Hope. I know, like, a lot of people give this deck a lot of crap when they say 3, and they're like, no, 3's incorrect. Sometimes 3 is acceptable because you want to see it. All right, like getting a draw 4 for no reason is actually pure insanity. So this is, I'm going to troll you, the deck. And this deck actually performed really well. All right, do not underestimate this deck. This is one of those decks that if you're not prepared for and you have your pants down, you're going to lose. All right, who would have guessed? So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, standard hand trap disruption. 2 copies of DD Crow. This is a big middle finger to DD, big middle finger to DD Crow. So big middle finger to Drytron. Ah, more anti-fun Drytron cards. Just hand them the Drone Lockbird. Here, take this L. You're gonna need it. We have double Gamma Seal, standard. Oh, that's a really nice Dragoon you got there. Plop, OTK. Any sort of disruption that your opponent would put up is super easily answered by the Sea Turtle. Then we also have the 2 copies of Lava Golem. I know a lot of people kind of look at this card and they're like, well, I mean, like, should you just play more Kaijus? Some situations, the Gamma Seal's better. Some situations, the Lava Golem's better. So he just went with a 2-2 split here that I feel because of that very reason. Why not have both? Alright, I mean, I guess you could argue for 4 Kaijus, but double Lava Golem, I feel like in the situation you see it's acceptable. We also have, of course, the 3 copies of the Numeron Wall, so we can, you know, get to the best card in our deck. I will argue that this is the best card, period. Not the draw 4, by the way. 3 copies of Planet Pathfinder to get to the best card in our deck. Triple copies of Gamma and 1 Driver so we can protect the best card in our deck. And then we also have 2 copies of Skullmeister so we can disrupt the opponent. And then we also have triple copies of Forbidden Droplet so that we can play the best card in our deck. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster so we can punish Altergeist. I know that's the only reason why people play this card. It's because Tier 3 Altergeist run around. We have 2 copies of Lightning Storm so that we can blow up back row. Or Force a Negate. It's honestly the best thing this card's used for. We have 2 copies of Memories of Hope. Draw cards. We have 2 copies of Numeron Calling so that we can spam the field. Yeah. Triple copies of the best card in our deck. 2 copies of I've already spammed the field. Give me some more good cards. 1 copy of Terraforming. 2 copies of, oh, you shouldn't have ashed that. I'm going to draw some more cards. And we have 1 copy of Red Reboot. Extra deck here, we have 1 copy of Saruja. Oh my gosh, so you make the entire field to Saruja to draw cards. Why not? I guess that's cute. We have 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Megaclops with the 1 Hawk, 2 copies of Zexel, with 2 copies of Kadiri, 2 Trini, 2 copy of Devi, and 2 copies of Akam, with 1 copy of my favorite Cyframe Lord Omega. Then we have triple copies of Cycle Reader, 1 copy of Pankratops, 1 Godarla, 1 Nibiru, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Oh, we actually have a limiter removal in here. Oh my god. Okay, so that'll double everything. So what does that start us off? 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000? Oh my gosh. I feel pain for this card's existence. 1 Pot of Avarice, 2 different dimension ground, 2 different dimensional barrier, and then 1 evenly matched, wrapping up Emmanuel Lilly's list for everybody here. Now, next up, we have Sky Striker. So Bill Way played this bad boy right here. He got 7th place with this. All right. And that's an unending nightmare, by the way. We actually did this. All right. You pay 1,000 life points, target a face-up swallow trap card on the field, and destroy. You can only activate this effect of unending nightmare once per chain. Whew. This was actually some sauce. So we actually have a little bit more of a teched out build than normal here. So we have 1 copy of Artifact Lancia, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of frickin' DD Crowman, 2 copies of Drone Lockbird, and then we have 2 copies of Ghost Bell. We are clunking down on the literal hand traps here, right? That's 11 right off of the bat. We have triple copies of Ray and 2 copies of Rose, the basic ratios. 1 Call by the Grave, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 copy Pot of Avarice to reload back up, our resource farm down here. And then we have 2 copies of Pot of Desires, 1 Rhoda, 2 copies of the Area Zero, 2 Afterburners, this has pretty much become a norm at this point, 1 Jamming Waves, 1 copy of the Hornet Drones, 2 Shark Cannon, triple copies of Widow Anchor, 1 copy of Multi-Roll, with the 1 Terraforming and the 1 Upstart. And then we have 2 evenly matched. This will help us pressure through with going second. That way we can kind of set up and establish more of an edge. And then 1 Saucy Unending Nightmare. Extra deck here is kind of interesting. We have 2 Zeke. I know a lot of people have kind of looked at Zeke and went, the card's all right. And I get that. So to see 2 here is quite interesting. We have triple copies of Shizuku, 1 Kaina, triple Kagari, triple copies of Hayate, with 1 Ningrisu, 1 copy of the Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 copy of the access code. We are not doing the Selene package. That is actually kind of interesting. Looks like Selene's kind of taking a little bit more of a back seat for this particular format. I mean, granted, we don't really play Valor at the moment, which is understandable, so having that card not get as much mileage as it actually was, it's kind of interesting. So, yes, the Selene package, as a trade-off, you don't have to play Valor anymore, and it does free up the extra deck spot, so you can actually play an additional copy of Zeke. We also have 2 copies of Cycle Raider, 2 Kadarla, 2 copies of Nibiru, 2 copies of Book of Moon, 2 copies of Different Dimension Ground, triple copies of Dimensional Barrier, and 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. Wrapping up this list, Akino was telling me how good D-Barrier actually was today. Evidently, this card is some real good Yu-Gi-Oh! Who would have guessed? And then the last list I have for you guys today, this is actually going to be BAWSCH's 17th place list. And I've seen a couple Drytron lists come across my desk. I figured we'd do this one because he did, in fact, finish 17th place, so he'd get a little bit of love here. Here we go. We have the Vanities Ruler making his way back on in here, which a lot of people would argue that you could just axe this and just play, without it. Also, the real reason why Drytron's good is because of Natasha. This card single-handedly brings games back just because of how absurd this is. Taking control of the opponent's cards is busted. So we have 1 copy of Cyber Petite Angel, 1 Dawn Knight, triple copies of Alpha Thuban, 2 copies of Alteus, 1 Altanin, triple copies of Albaya, 1 copy of Ava, triple copies of Herald of Orange Light, 1 Manju, 1 Vanities Ruler, triple copies of Ben 10, 1 copy of Natasha, 1 Herald of Ultimateness, 1 Call by the Grave, triple copies of Cyber Emergency, triple copies of Drytron Fafnir, triple copies of Drytron Nova, 1 copy of Foolish Burial, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, 1 Instant Fusion, gotta love the canned ramen, 1 Metanius, and triple copies of Preparation and Rites. Down here we also have the 1 Union Care, 2 copies of Link Karibo, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 copy of IAP, 1 copy of Herald of Mirages, Geonator Transverser, with the Boral Sword, the access code, 1 copy of Assembled, 1 copy of the Downard, 1 copy of the AA Zeus, and the 1 of the Mr. Millennium Eyes. He did say to note that he didn't have access to an anima for this event, which is understandable for the additional copy of this. Side deck here we have triple copies of Artifact Lancia, triple copies of Drone Lockbird, 2 copies of Nibiru, triple copies of Gamma, 1 copy of Driver, 1 Feather Duster, and 2 copies of Twin Twister. Wrapping up everything that I have for you guys. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on more excellent content, and I will see your beautiful faces back here tonight for a nice little Monday night Yu-Gi-Oh stream. You guys have a good rest of your day, and stay classy out there, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.